Hi there folks, welcome back to Future Seeds. Today I'm going to exemplify how you would typically go about sowing seed for large-scale hemp and cannabis production. I'll do it here on a small scale just so you can get an idea of what the steps you would take just to make it as efficient as possible with as little accident as possible. Now for starters, you should have a good idea of how many seed you want to sow. Get your trays ready, fill them up with a loose seed sprouting compost. Sterile medium typically is better, something that's light that won't attract bacteria. Now once you have all of your trays filled, these ones I typically use 2.5 inch deep. I believe these are 2 inch wide. That gives enough room for the plants to get a good size and works really well for the transplanters in the field. You can lay out all of your trays on the bench where you plan on sprouting them in the greenhouse typically, and you'll want to water them down. Now you want to water them evenly and soak them all the way through so that when you lift those trays, they're going to be heavy. Once all your trays are soaked, you can stack them on top of each other at the front of the bench. This way it's just easier for you to access and plant the seeds and lay them out afterwards. So when they're stacked, we'll pretend this has soil in it, they will end up indenting the tray beneath them, making a really nice semi-compact surface at the top of those cells. There should be enough room in the top of the cells here that when you water, the soil isn't going to erode either out of the trays or into the next cell. It should stay in place without making a mess. Now, first things first, we always label our trays with the label facing the outside of the row, and the edge of the tray, but not on the very edge because sometimes they get knocked out by people walking in the rows. Just little details like that make a big difference in terms of organization and being able to read these labels. Now you may not be able to read that, but I can. Now with your seeds at the ready, place 2 fingers on the very bottom of the Sharpie pen so that you have about 1/4 inch of distance between your thumb and the bottom of the pen. We're going to use this to indent the soil. About 1/4 inch is what you want these seeds to be planted at, and the sensitivity of the soil pressing against your fingers will be the sign to stop. So we'll indent all of these. Now it's important that your hands remain dry for this next portion. If you have a rag close by, something to keep your fingers wet. This way, when you're interacting with seeds that are contained in a dry place, you don't get moisture into your containers, and it also helps keep the seeds from sticking to your fingers, which makes dropping a single seed in each much easier. So we'll end up pouring out a number of seed to start, and with your dry hand take a couple, 2 or 3, and drop them into the cells. Great, now that we have the seeds planted, we don't have to worry about getting our hands wet. We're just gonna pinch close each of those openings very lightly, and then you can water them in once more. Now, as that tray is completed, you can pick it up, put it in the location where it will end up staying until they've sprouted, and then work on the tray beneath that. If you have any questions about this process, leave a comment below or find us at futureseeds.com.